Hello everyone, this is Mr. Martinez, and today we're going to learn some world geography. It's the first thing we learn in 7th grade world history. So for those of you who are new to my channel, this is a channel to help students learn the material that we learn in class, as well as anyone who does searches, wants to learn a little bit of information from Mr. Martinez. That's who I am. So let us begin. World geography, information about the world. All right, so we always start with a question: why are maps important for studying history? Go ahead and let that percolate in your mind for a moment. Why are maps important for studying history? Well, they show us what we are learning about. When you have a map, it will demonstrate the area, the surroundings, what have you, what we're learning about. If we're learning about Europe, you have a map of Europe. If we're learning about North America, you have a map of North America. It will show you what it is that you're learning. They help explorers find where they are going. In other words, if you were trying to find an area, and this is obviously before GPS and digital map, you would look on a map, and it would show you where you are, and you could figure out where you were going by looking at that map. So when you were an explorer, you wanted to make sure you had the best maps available. They illustrate how geography shaped the development of world civilizations. One of the things we're going to learn, and you should have learned, and will learn, is one of the most important aspects of history is geography. Geography has shaped almost everything you learn about in history. It is not uncommon to be learning about something and learn that the topography of where they developed gave rise to their ability to succeed in farming or harvesting grain or being able to hunt animals for food. So geography is one of the major influences of history and the development of world civilizations. Let's learn some facts about maps and geography. Sounds like fun. Let's go. So, how much of the world is water? I'll let you guys think about that. How many continents are there? What are the names? How many oceans? What are their names? And yes, I know they've recently said that there is another ocean, but we'll wait until it's official. But they've been talking about it. So, approximately 70% of the Earth's surface is water. Amazing. We're not going to run out of water anytime soon. It just depends on where it's at and is it drinkable or not. Okay? Land makes up the remaining 30%. There are 7 large land masses or continents that make up the world. They are Africa, Asia, Europe, North America, Antarctica, Australia, and South America. Yes, I'm in my classroom, and you heard the bell. This is school, so much fun. So these are the 7 continents of the world. There are 4 major bodies of water, or oceans, in the world: Pacific, Atlantic, Indian, and Arctic Ocean. And if they do include the other one, I will augment my video to the new name of the new ocean if they actually do it or not. So, very useful information. Asia has approximately 17 million square miles, which is about 30% of the Earth's land. Asia is really big. Okay. Africa is the second largest continent with 20% of the world's land. So amazing when you think about how large these land masses are and how they developed and are still developing. North America, the continent on which we live, has about 9 million square miles, 16% of the Earth's land. Amazing. Okay? 16%. South America has 12% of the Earth's land. And you can go on. I'm not going to belabor the point of how big things are, but you get the idea. All right. We continue. Antarctica does not have any permanent inhabitants because of the freezing climates. In other words, the only humans that are on Antarctica are people that have gone there for scientific research, drilling for ice records, and so forth. So 5 million square miles, 9% of the Earth's land. Truly amazing. Europe has 4 million square miles and is 7% of the Earth's land. So Europe is not as large as people might think, which explains why people, when they had an opportunity to leave Europe to go to the, quote, New World, which would be North and South America, they took the chance to do it because there wasn't that much land left in Europe for most people. There was land for the people who owned it. Obviously, I'm not going to go into the whole kings and parliament and all that kind of stuff, but very important to know. It's our other bell too. I knew that when I recorded this there might be bells in the background, so no worries. Smallest continent is Australia, only 6% of the Earth's land. And I would do my Australian accent, but I don't want to. So, smallest. And yet when you look at it on a map, it seems fairly large, but it's really not that big if you think about it. So, let's continue. Part 2. Alright, so here you have a map of the world. Now this is called a Mercator Map. It's actually a projection which kind of distorts things, makes things look larger than they actually are in some places. It's designed to try to make it look round. It does a fairly good job. But I'm not going to go into the history of maps right now because it's just a little too much, but there is a history of maps and when they developed and so on. So looking at this map, you can see North America, South America, Africa, and so on. And this is the world. There's Iceland up here and Greenland over here. I always get them mixed up. Antarctica looks gargantuanly huge, but it really isn't. It's just how the projection happens. Okay? So, yours would be the North Pole, right? And the South Pole would be down here. Although now they're saying North Pole is actually kind of over here now. The Earth is kind of wobbling. But that's a whole nother discussion. North Pole. And yes, the South Pole. Right? Alright, so north, south, east, and west. Those are called the cardinal points. Intermediate points, northeast, southeast, northwest, southwest. Pretty self-explanatory. Compass roses on maps, this is what determines where things are. So you have north, south, east, and west. Very fancy. My students, you guys are going to draw this on your map, which you have before you, of course. And those of you who are just watching the video to learn, you could do it if you want. You don't have to, but it's just something that is important. Okay? So, what are you going to do with that? Well, you're going to put it on your map to show where the north is, the south is, the west, and east. This is important because anytime you're looking at a map, you look for this, you can get the orientation of what you're looking at. Okay? So, what does that look like? Well, here you got the Pacific Ocean over here. The Atlantic Ocean, the Indian Ocean. I think that new ocean's like over here somewhere. And of course, the Arctic, right? This is obviously the Pacific over here because the Earth is round. Yes, the Earth is round. Some people debate that, but it is not flat. And let's look at the continents. You got Europe, Asia, Africa, North America, South America, and Antarctica at the bottom. Right? And Australia. So 7 continents. And now we have the equator and the prime meridian. What are these things? Well, parallels of latitude circle the globe from east to west. That's these lines right here. And basically, you can find yourself by learning the degrees of latitude and longitude, and you can pinpoint your location by knowing this. Meridians of longitude circle the globe from north to south. So I think this is 0, but I think this is 30 degrees. So if you were at 30 degrees west latitude and what's that, 45 degrees longitude, it would put you right about here. So that's how you learn how to do that. And, I remember learning this in my geography class in college. We actually had to pinpoint things on a map all the time. And you get good at it after a while. Of course, now you have GPS, but the GPS uses the exact same notation and definitions. So even with GPS, you still have the same parallels of latitude and meridians of longitude. Okay? So, now that you know a little about geography and maps, you're going to fill in and color your maps with this information. This is always a fun project. You're going to fill in the 7 continents. You're going to do the 4 oceans, the major countries, major seas. Didn't go over the seas or the countries. You can do that on your own. The equator and prime meridian, that's been done. And you're going to color your map. On the back of your map, you're going to write a paragraph about what you learned and how you can apply it to your life. So as always, you don't just learn because people tell you things. And there's a reason. It helps you. Understanding where you are, how you got there, where you're going, how it applies to your life. This is why you learn. And oftentimes in education, no one talks about that, but I do. So this is what's the assignment. Enjoy and have fun. Be as creative and colorful as you'd like. And that is it. So, go ahead and end this. Oh, there it is. If you have any questions, of course, go ahead, leave a comment. Obviously, like and subscribe to the channel. If you've learned a lot, you're more than welcome to watch all the other videos. And thank you. Enjoy. This is Mr. Martinez signing off.